part 1, we took over a desert island. We built a base at the edge of a river. We brought a car onto the island using a bridge. Things were going really well. Now, let's continue the story. Seeing how stone was extremely rare in this area, I decided to upgrade directly from twig to metal. This would take time, but overall, it proved to be worth it. On a side note, I just want to thank you all for being so cool, always commenting, liking, and just being supportive overall. I try my best to express my gratitude, and sometimes I feel like it's not enough. So I just want to say thank you. You guys are really, really awesome. Farming the ocean is extremely underrated. If you're a solo like me, and you're looking for a chill time, diving underwater is a perfect way of collecting a ton of scrap in a very short amount of time. Especially if you don't have weapons researched yet, and you don't want to go out and risk it all. Underwater, you're safe, for the most part. Oftentimes, as a solo, you have to do it all yourself, and it can quickly become overwhelming. But moments like this remind me of how gorgeous this game is. This game is a lot like real life. The end goal never matters. At the end of the run, our fates are all the same. But what really matters is the journey. When the sun sets, watch. After farming the road, I headed back to base, and I loaded up the car with everything I was going to recycle. It was time to head over to Outpost and cash in on the bigger bulk of scrap. Finally, a blanket of darkness covered Rust, and I started up my car and made the long trip to Outpost. I took advantage of the early morning in the real world. Outpost was eerie, but I stayed focused and I finished what I came to do. Alright, we made it. Look at all the goodies. Alright, let's get to work. Now that I had an abundance of scrap, I researched everything that I would need to finish out my base. I removed all of the electricity that I had set up temporarily and began building out my permanent electrical system. My main goal was to light up the base. No more tuna can lamps, and hopefully no more torches. And just like that, there was light. To me, There's nothing more comfortable than a base that's fully connected and powered with electricity. As soon as this happens, I immediately feel at home. And so I fed my horse, and I took a jackhammer and began doing some much needed farming. For some reason, every time I'd go out, I'd find a horse, and I'd use it to get back home. The collection of horses was slowly growing in the barn, but I could never have too many. this horse, this one was my favorite, so I made him some armor. Nothing too fancy, something to just add a little flavor to his outfit. Later that day, I spawned on the other side of the map, found a horse, and I farmed as much as I could. I noticed I was near outpost, so I went to recycle. While I was there, I purchased a SAR from a nearby store. This SAR would change the wipe for me. Thank you, buddy. You did a great job. We made it in one piece. That's awesome. Now that I had a SAR, I felt more comfortable doing monuments. So I geared up and I went to go do sewer, one of my favorite monuments. Alright, hello sewer branch. Let's do this. I don't think it's been looted, so yeah, we're good. In my experience, sewer branch is always looted, but this time around, the wood was there. So I broke in and I made my way through. Out of fear of losing the loot I had just collected from Sewer Branch, I decided to stash away the valuables, and later, I'd come back for them. Hello. You don't happen to have a fuse box to trade, do you?
I don't speak English.
Oh, that's okay, man. Thank you. I could hear the gunshots firing in the near distance, so I went in that direction. Throughout my time playing Rust, guns that you'd have to spend a lot of scrap on, I avoid, simply because I don't tend to have extra scrap laying around. But this time around, the Rust gods gifted a solo with something special. This LR would be my left-hand man for the rest of the wipe. I never went anywhere without it, and it was there to witness it all. This wipe was going so well that I didn't even consider doing any other monuments. But then I changed my mind. I decided I wanted to do the blue card and the red card. I put my mind to it and I made it happen. On my way to water treatment, I came across this naked. His behavior was strange, but since I'm not hostile and I'd rather be allies than enemies, I decided to mirror his actions and drop some of my loot on the floor as well. But to my surprise, he just ran off. I don't know if you're hiding, but I left the stuff on the floor. Now, at this point, I had a red card. I was ready to do launch. After getting dressed for launch site and getting ready with all my equipment, I filled up my jug and I made the long journey through the night. the added scientists to launch site, the monument became much harder to complete. The pressure and the odds of being countered are much higher. But as I made my way out of launch site, I suddenly remembered that I came with a friend and he was waiting for me. And so we healed and we made our way back home. Alright, we did launch. That's great. I haven't done launch site in a while, so that was nice to get in there, get it done. Feels good. After completing launch site, I felt satisfied, so I sealed up my bunker and I decided to go for a drive. You've been watching an Orange Dream production.